Imagine waking up one morning to the news that Tesla, the company that already turned the auto industry upside down, is about to do the exact same thing to aviation, and not just with some experimental prototype that only a few engineers will ever see. No, this is Elon Musk announcing a Tesla super electric plane with a shocking production plan, and here's the kicker, a price tag starting at just $79,979. Think about that number for a second. You can barely buy a fully loaded Tesla Model X at that price. And now Musk wants to deliver an actual electric airplane, a flying machine that could challenge Boeing, the aviation giant that has dominated the skies for decades. Via hook point, but here's the question you've got to ask yourself. How can a company that builds cars suddenly build planes and sell them at a fraction of the cost of Boeing's cheapest jets? Stick around, because once you hear the strategy, it will completely flip how you think about aviation. Today, we're going to unpack this jaw-dropping announcement piece by piece. We'll look at Boeing's troubled history, Tesla's proven strategy of disruption, and exactly how a $79,979 electric plane could completely rewrite the rules of aviation. Because if Musk pulls this off, it won't just be the end of Boeing as we know it, it'll be the end of expensive, inefficient, outdated air travel. So, buckle up. This story is going to change the way you think about planes, travel, and the future of the sky itself. Part 1. Boeing, the giant with feet of clay. Before we even dive into Tesla's wild new project, we need to understand the context. Why does the aviation industry even need disrupting in the first place? For decades, Boeing and Airbus have ruled the global skies. If you've flown commercially in the past 20 years, chances are you were sitting in either a Boeing 737, a 777, or an Airbus A320. These companies built an empire on the promise of safety, reliability, and economies of scale. But here's the problem. Boeing has been cracking at the seams for years. The 737 MAX crisis. Between 2018 and 2019, two Boeing 737 MAX planes tragically crashed due to software flaws, killing hundreds. These disasters grounded the fleet worldwide, shattered trust, and exposed how cost-cutting and rushed timelines had replaced safety. First, engineering, production delays. Boeing's 787 Dreamliner and 777X programs faced years of setbacks, billions in cost overruns, and endless regulatory headaches. Public perception. Passengers today are openly nervous when they hear they're boarding a Boeing 737 MAX, despite reassurances. That kind of brand damage is nearly impossible to fix. Financial strain. Boeing's balance sheets have been bleeding. The company that once symbolized American engineering excellence now struggles under debt, lawsuits, and a lack of innovation. Here's the harsh reality. Boeing is big, bureaucratic, and slow to adapt. They represent the exact kind of stale, legacy industry that Elon Musk has been tearing apart for years. First, it was autos with Tesla, then space with SpaceX. Now, it looks like aviation is next in line. Via hook point. But here's the kicker. Boeing's weaknesses are the very reasons Tesla chose this moment to strike. And what you're about to see is how Musk is weaponizing those weaknesses to shock the world with a plane under $80K. Part 2. Tesla's $79,979 Shockwave. When people first heard the rumored price of the Tesla plane, most thought it was a typo. $79,979 for an electric plane. That's less than many luxury cars. But here's where Elon Musk's genius comes in. That price isn't about making profit on day one. It's about doing what Tesla has always done, democratizing technology. Think back to the Tesla Roadster. It was flashy, expensive, and limited, but it paved the way for the Model S. Then the Model 3 came along, the car that proved EV weren't just for the elite. The Model 3's $35,000 entry price shocked the auto industry. Suddenly, anyone could own an EV. Now, Musk is applying that same playbook to planes. Instead of selling a $200 Zero luxury electric aircraft for a handful of billionaires. Tesla is going mass market from day one. By pricing at $79,979, Tesla makes the plane accessible to private owners, small businesses, regional airlines, flight schools, and even hobbyist pilots. This isn't just a plane, this is a movement, and it's exactly why Boeing should be scared. They've built their empire on multi-million-dollar jets that only big airlines can afford. Tesla, on the other hand, is saying, why not give everyone the power of flight? Via hook point. But the real question is, how can Tesla possibly build an airplane this cheap when Boeing can't even deliver a Dreamliner on time? The answer lies in a production plan that looks more like an auto factory than an aerospace assembly line. Part 3, the production plan, how Tesla builds the impossible. Here's where things get really interesting. Because it's one thing to make a flashy prototype, it's another thing to scale production. But if there's one thing Tesla has proven, it's that they can mass produce advanced technology at scale. Think about gigafactories. What seemed insane at first, massive plants capable of churning out batteries by the millions, is now the backbone of Tesla's success. The Model 3 and Model Y became the world's best selling EV, not because Tesla had the best car designs, but because they had the most efficient production lines. Now imagine applying that same strategy to aircraft. Instead of relying on old-school aerospace assembly, which is slow, labor-intensive, and insanely expensive, Tesla's plane could be built with gigapress-like systems. Imagine giant casting machines stamping out large fuselage sections, wings, and underbodies in just a few moves. Combine that with modular assembly, where entire sections of the aircraft are pre-built and snapped together like Lego, and suddenly, the production bottleneck disappears. This is exactly how Tesla is able to say, we can make a plane for $79,979. Because in traditional aerospace, the production process is half the cost. Tesla is rewriting the rulebook. Via hook point. And wait until you hear how Tesla's gigapress could literally cast airplane fuselages the same way it stamps car frames. It sounds impossible, but it's the hidden weapon that could flip the entire aviation industry. Part 4, the battery and powertrain revolution. Of course, the biggest question everyone asks is, can an electric plane even work? And this is where Tesla has an ace up its sleeve: batteries. For years, critics laughed at the idea of electric flight. Too heavy, too short-ranged, too impractical. And to be fair, they had a point. Early lithium-ion batteries couldn't provide the energy density needed to get a plane off the ground, let alone keep it flying for hours. But fast forward to today, and Tesla's innovations in battery chemistry, particularly solid-state and aluminum-ion research, are rewriting what's possible. The Tesla plane is rumored to use next-gen high-density cells that offer 4x the energy density of current lithium-ion packs, ultra-fast charging as little as 20 minutes for 80% capacity, longer life cycles, thousands of charge cycles with minimal degradation. What does that translate to in real terms? A small Tesla plane could fly 500-600 miles on a single charge, enough for most regional flights in the U.S. Think New York to Chicago, Los Angeles to San Francisco, Dallas to Denver. And here's the kicker. With Tesla's already expanding supercharger network, charging infrastructure isn't some theoretical dream. Airports could simply be outfitted with scaled-up superchargers, allowing planes to recharge between flights with minimal downtime. This isn't science fiction. This is Musk leveraging Tesla's greatest advantage, the battery economy of scale. Via hook point. But if the outside looks futuristic, wait until you see the design leaks: a Tesla plane that borrows more from the iPhone than Boeing. Part 5, aerodynamics and exterior design. Of course, Tesla being Tesla, the plane isn't just about function. It's about design. Leaked concept images suggest a sleek, futuristic aircraft with carbon composite body panels for lightness and strength, swept forward wings optimized for energy efficiency, embedded solar strips on top surfaces for auxiliary charging. Bolt-on crash pods, yes, the same modular crash protection Musk wants for cars, adapted to planes. This design isn't just about looks, it's about serviceability. Traditional planes are nightmares to repair, but Tesla wants its aircraft to be easy to maintain, with replaceable sections that can be swapped out in hours instead of weeks. It's the iPhone model of aviation, sleek, simple, and user-friendly. Via hook point, but that's just the exterior. Step inside, and the cockpit will make every Boeing and Airbus plane look like relics from another era. Part 6, Interior and Cockpit of the Future. Step inside, and it's clear this isn't your average cockpit. Instead of dozens of analog dials and switches, you get a single, massive touchscreen like a scaled-up Tesla Model S display. AI-assisted Autopilot takes much of the workload off the pilot, with features like auto takeoff, optimized flight paths, and emergency landing protocols. Passengers enjoy a quiet, vibration-free cabin thanks to electric propulsion. Noise pollution, one of aviation's biggest problems, is dramatically reduced. And because Tesla loves its digital ecosystem, expect full integration with Tesla apps, Starlink satellite internet, and even in-flight entertainment powered by the same system that runs Tesla cars. This isn't just an aircraft. It's a flying Tesla on steroids. Via hook point. Imagine flying coast to coast while streaming movies through Starlink in a cabin quieter than a library. But the real disruption comes next, because it's not just about design. It's about economics. Part 7, Market Impact. The $79,979 revolution. Here's the part that will make airlines sweat. At just under $80K, the Tesla plane is cheap enough that private owners and small businesses could buy it outright. Flight schools could train pilots at a fraction of today's costs. Regional airlines could replace short-haul jets with Tesla planes, cutting fuel expenses to almost zero. Operating costs would plummet. Fuel savings. Electricity is far cheaper than jet fuel. Maintenance savings. Electric motors have far fewer moving parts than jet engines. Noise savings. Airports and cities would welcome quieter, cleaner planes. Suddenly, the economics of aviation flip upside down. Short-haul flights that once cost airlines $10,000 per trip could drop to a few hundred in electricity. And that's why Boeing should be worried, because this isn't just about one plane. It's about an entirely new business model. Via hook point, and if you think Boeing can just copy this model, think again. In the final section, you'll see why Boeing may not survive Tesla's aviation revolution at all. Part 8, Boeing vs. Tesla, the old guard vs. the Disruptor. Let's step back for a second. Boeing has been building planes for 100 years. They know the industry inside and out. But their greatest strength, their size, their history, their partnerships, is also their greatest weakness. They're too big to pivot, too invested in old systems, too weighed down by bureaucracy. Tesla, meanwhile, has no such baggage. They're lean, aggressive, and willing to take risks. Where Boeing asks, how can we protect our market? Tesla asks, why not change the market altogether? It's the same story we saw with cars. Legacy automakers laughed at Tesla until Tesla outsold them. Now, Boeing risks becoming the Kodak of aviation, a giant that missed the shift until it was too late. Via hook point. So the only real question left is this: are we about to witness Boeing's collapse and Tesla's rise as the ruler of the skies? Finally, the sky belongs to Tesla. So, what does this all mean? It means that if Tesla truly launches a $79,979 super electric plane, we're witnessing history in the making. Not only could it mark the beginning of the end for Boeing's dominance, but it could also spark a revolution in how humans travel. Affordable, quiet, zero-emission flight, short hops across the country at the price of a train ticket, a world where private planes aren't just for the ultra-rich, but for anyone with a dream of flying. And if history has taught us anything, it's this: when Elon Musk sets his sights on an industry, disruption isn't a question, it's an inevitability. So, the only real question left is, Are we about to witness the end of Boeing and the birth of Tesla's aviation empire?